Good.
So somewhere along the line, people, naturopaths or experts have made us believe that the more isolated, the more fractionated, the more concentrated something is, the better it is for you, or the healthier it is for you. And the reason they do that, for one reason, is because the more isolated and fractionated, the more it's played with in a laboratory, the more they can paint in it and make it harder for someone to copy what they're doing. So it doesn't actually necessarily mean it's better for you. In fact, it's not better for you, because the more you isolate and fractionate and play with something, the harder it is for your body to utilize it. So a really good example of that is, I talked about vitamin C. Another one I'll use is whey protein. So people have been using raw milk products or yogurt, and people are saying that's not enough. We want to have whey protein. So they use whey protein concentrate, and if it's organic, it's probably not as bad as something that's maybe isolated. And they said that's not enough. We want to isolate it even further. We're going to have hydrolyzed isolate, micronized whey protein. And they say, oh, very fast, the absorption is so fast. And so do you need something that's so played with and so broken down it's absorbed so fast? The answer is no. It causes a lot of immune response in your body, causes leaky gut, and people have a lot of problems. A lot of bodybuilders have really bad digestion problems. But also they've shown that they cause mucus plaque and block you up, but they actually are, very little of it is absorbed. So yeah, some of it's absorbed straight into your system very fast, but some studies show that as little as 15% of that protein is absorbed. Look, why would you want to buy something and just not absorbing any of it? It's just crazy. Your body just can't recognize it and utilize it. Same with vitamin C. They've shown that isolated vitamin C, like ascorbic acid, and calcium ascorbate, and those isolated forms, even though they're very high in numbers, those numbers don't actually materialize. They don't mean anything. The studies show that your body utilizes very little of it. Except some studies show that 1,000 milligrams of isolated vitamin C is the equivalent of consuming 37 milligrams of natural vitamin C. So that would mean one serving of our vitamin C, which is natural, is the equivalent of consuming 8,000 milligrams of isolated vitamin C without the toxic residue, without the blockages, without the problems, without the stress you're going to cause on your body. Because every time you consume drugs, your body's got to do something with it. Every time you consume isolated vitamins and minerals and amino acids, your body has to do something with it. And if it's not in a whole food state, if it's not in a natural state, your body is not designed, your body is not created, your body is not built to handle it or understand what to do with it properly. It's just shocked with this big bolt of whatever it is, whether it's amino acids or enzymes or vitamin C or vitamin B or this mineral or that mineral, and your body can't deal with it properly. In fact, this was very eye-opening. There's a study that shows that when you flood your body with isolated vitamins and minerals, your receptor sites that receive, let's say, vitamin C or whatever that vitamin and mineral is, that vitamin C ascorbic acid, your body thinks it's flush with, say, like vitamin C, if you've taken 1,500 milligrams, especially if you've taken it over and over again for a long period of time. And what happens is, when you eat real food vitamin C, like as in wild C, or if you eat an orange, or if you eat any food, your body, because it thinks it's flush or heavily loaded up with isolated vitamin C, which it isn't because it can't absorb it properly, it will reject real food vitamin C. It'll say, no, I've got it, mate, we're full here, we're full everywhere, we've got massive amounts of vitamin C, we definitely don't need any more, we're just going to excrete it out. So it puts a load on the body several ways. The food you're eating, you don't absorb. It's got to deal with it somewhere, so it's got to pass it out. Plus, you end up in real mineral, vitamin, nutrient, you end up in negative balance. Because all this food you're eating, you're not absorbing it, you're just wasting it. And so that's why people that consume a lot of isolated vitamins and minerals, these protein powders, especially the hydrolyzed isolated ones with a lot of added food, so-called food to it, which is just enzymes and amino acids and vitamins and minerals. If anything on your ingredient list is not a food, don't take it. or don't take a lot of it. That's the best thing I can say, because a lot of people I know are going to continue to take it. And so, yeah, and so that's why a lot of people that consume a lot of these isolated vitamins and minerals end up in a really bad shape. They can end up really sick, because you just end up so depleted, because your body's not going to think that it needs the nutrients you're eating from food. And so there's many more studies and many other things I could go on about, but I hope that's a clearer understanding of why isolated vitamins and minerals are not the way to go. And you always want to look to whole food, as natural as possible. So this is a product I brought out. This is this is the best-selling natural vitamin C in Australia. It's probably the only real natural vitamin C. It's 100% dried fruits and berries and greens. No extracts, no juice powders, no isolated ascorbic acid, nothing like that. And that's why it's so popular, because a lot of people want that. A lot of people look for that. A lot of naturopaths are looking for that. You know, a lot of naturopaths I speak to say, I was going to bring out a product like this. This is what the market needs, because there's nothing like it. Because everything else out there is just toxic and not really good for you. And so a lot of the natural healing world are waking up and understand and want something like this. Even mum and dad, Joe Blows, are giving this to their kids because they want a natural vitamin C. They know isolated vitamin C is no good because it gives you the runs if you have too much. And you could have this whole tub and you would just feel great. And kids are having it in really small dosages and they're going, wow, my cold and flu is going away, I feel really good, I have a lot of energy. Because you're not only getting, when you have ascorbic acid or isolated anything, you're only getting that. But when you have like jubinji and acerola and goji berry and camu, you're getting a whole range of vitamins and minerals in their whole food state, in a natural state. So you're just getting like a blast of superfoods with super nutrient dense vitamins and minerals and antioxidants and all those things that aren't found in that isolated product that's just dead, not alive, and basically is just a synthetic chemical version of the real thing. So always choose whole foods, natural products as far as possible, and you improve your health will go through the roof.